Well, Israel's starting to go into the Gaza Strip now. We're starting to hear a lot of news about the German citizen that was killed and tortured. We're starting to hear now that Americans were killed in Israel. This could be a big thing over there. This could grow into one huge, huge event over there for the whole world, right? We're starting to move military ships in a little closer to the area, you know. Guys, one thing they're saying is that Israel had no prior warning to this. How is that possible? These two countries or citizens, whatever you want to call it over there, have been fighting since the beginning of time, but they had no idea that this was going to happen. You know, you got to think back. Sometimes they have to allow things to happen to get where they want, right? One thing we've been paying attention to is Israel has been having a lot of protest over there about the judicial system. Well, how do you fix a society that is against the government? You focus them on one enemy, right? You focus them on one thing, you get their attention on it, and focus them. Like I said before, when 9/11 happened, what happened after that? Patriotism, right? Patriotism happened. Our enlistment shot way up, you know, into the military. There's things that are allowed to happen to get what they want. You got to understand that. Now, can I say for 100% sure that they knew it was coming and they allowed it to happen? No, I can't, but I mean, it looks like it, right? Because they're supposed to be the best at what they do over there, right? We hear that all the time. Israeli intelligence is one of the best in the world, but somehow this got by them. Now, what can this cause? I told you yesterday, watch what Iran does. Some people says Iran's already involved in it. Yes, they are. They fund this group. They give them weapons and things like that. But specifically watch what the country does. Do they start attacking? This is possibly could grow into something huge over there. Huge. A lot of people say it's biblical right now. Could be, you know. This could be biblical. But these countries have been fighting since the beginning of time with each other. And another thing I want you to notice is look how much coverage this is getting on the news. On national news, right? Look at how much coverage you get on the Russian and Ukraine war, right? You don't get very much. You get what they want you to see, right? Ukraine's winning. They're taking back this. Russia's running out of ammo. Ukraine's running out of ammo and this and that, right? One thing to pay attention to here is watch maybe something possibly huge will happen over there in Russia and Ukraine in the next coming days to get the focus back on that country, right? Because this over here in Israel is getting a lot of coverage, a lot, and we're sending billions and billions to Ukraine, but yet we get no coverage on it. We get little snippets of what happened, just a daily update, right? We've said it before, why is the press not embedded with the troops over there and we're not seeing everything up to minute, right? Because they don't want us to. They don't want us to see what's going on over there. We're sending so much money into Ukraine that, you know, they don't want us to know what's going on. They just want us to believe what they're telling us and that's it, right? But here in Israel, we're seeing up-to-minute updates, right? They're live feeds everywhere. And Israel has declared war. Russia and Ukraine, you know, police action or stuff like that. They haven't declared it yet. But this Israel stuff could get into something huge because all the players involved here. You've got several countries that are big players in this area. You know, they fund a lot of stuff over there. You know, you got Russia and Iran. You got USA and Israel. You know, and another thing, I don't believe Israel is part of the NATO, but guess what? We're going to go over and protect them too, right? This will wind up costing us a lot of money too, probably more than likely. But these countries in the Middle East have been fighting since the beginning of time. They've been fighting with each other. And how this was able to happen without any prior knowledge of it happening is very strange. It's almost like they needed it to happen to focus their citizens on one thing, right? And we're starting to see a lot of more press coverage about citizens from other countries being killed, tortured, kidnapped, and things like that. What does that do? Okay, they're trying to get it to where now USA's going to be a little bit more involved. Germany's going to be a little more involved, right? Guys, everything happens for a reason when this type of stuff happens. A lot of people think it just happens, but this stuff happens for a reason. They're going to get something they want out of this. That's how this happens. Is it going to lead to a huge world war? Very possibly. I've told you, I've never been concerned about a nuclear weapon being used in Ukraine and Russia. I haven't. I don't see a need for it. There's no need. Now, over here in this area of the country, we're talking about Israel and all that. Yes, you have extremists over there that if they could get their hands on it, number one, bargaining chip for them, right? They get a lot of stuff if they got their hands on a nuclear weapon. Number two, they could just use it because they want to. Number three, those people aren't afraid to die over there. Them people over there are extremists. You know, they think when they die, they're going to get, what, 30 virgins, and they're going to live, you know what I'm talking about. This is the area that you need to be concerned more about as far if you're concerned about nuclear weapons being used, because this region and this area, they would use them. If they had them, they'll use them. You know, Israel does have nuclear weapons. Of course, we've been hearing since I was a kid that Iran's just a few weeks away from making nuclear weapons. Who's to say they don't already have some, right? Guys, this could lead into something big. I'm not trying to panic you. I'm not a doom and gloomer, but you need to pay attention to this. And also the Russia-Ukraine stuff, something will probably more than likely happen big over there to get the focus back on that. You got to think about that. You know, we're living in crazy times. So much stuff is going on in the world. Eventually, something's got to happen, right? A lot of people worried about sleeper cells here in the United States, right? A lot of people worried about Russian sleeper cells and Chinese sleeper cells. Now they're worried about Middle Eastern sleeper cells. Guys, those people are here. They've been here. You know, I don't know. They're here. I don't know what else to tell you. You know they're here with as many people as coming across the border. Some of them's got in. It's just the way it is. How do you deal with that? Close the border down. A lot of people don't like that idea of putting the border down and you have to come through legally to get here, but that's the only way you can do it. But we're so far gone now. How do you fix the border situation? See, it's just a huge mess. We've talked about the ball rolling down the hill on my channel for 2 years. That it's got to pick up speed and it's going to pick up momentum until it crashes, right? That's what it's going to do. It's going downhill and it's picking up more speed. You know, these are crazy times we're living in. Focus on the Middle East right now. Keep your eyes and ears over there in Russia and Ukraine, because I'm telling you, something more than likely big's going to happen over there, or we're going to be told something big's happened over there to get us. They want you to keep looking at 9,000 different things, right? They don't want you focused on one thing at a time. They want your mind just constantly running, not being able to focus on nothing. This Israel thing, how was that able to happen? Seriously. How was it able to happen? How was 9/11 able to happen here, right? How was Pearl Harbor allowed to happen? You know, things are not adding up over here, and we're starting to see more coverage of these citizens from other countries that were killed, tortured, held hostage and all that, which is trying to get more countries involved in this. We've already said we're going to back Israel. We're moving warships into the area now. So, guys, it's getting crazy out here. You know, who's to say that this time next week something else hadn't happened, right? I mean, and who's also to say, a lot of people are saying that Israel wars, you know, they last a couple days and that's it. Hopefully that's the way this one is, but this could be a huge deal over there. I'm not sure on it now, but if you're ever been concerned about a nuclear weapon being used, it makes more sense to be concerned about this area that's Israel and them going at it, because them people over there, they would use it. You know, to them, Russia and Ukraine, I don't see a use for one. But guys, let me know your thoughts on this. Comment on this video. What do you think is going on? How is this able to happen? Do you think something big is going to happen over here in Russia and Ukraine to get the focus back on that? How much more money are we going to send every other country and not help our own citizens? Let me know your thoughts on this. Keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times. At that moment, you're the only person that can do it. Keep prepping and pay attention to this Israel, the stuff going on over there, guys. Stay safe.